Hello and welcome to another part of the BUZZ Expo China Summit. We are a few minutes behind schedule. Sorry for that. We had some technical problems, but now, fortunately, we are connected. So welcome Anita Chen, based in Hong Kong. My name is Professor Dr. Wolfgang Georg Alt. I'm the China Summit Ambassador and the CEO of COTRI, China Outbound Tourism Research Institute. And I'm really happy that we could manage to have Anita with us. I'm not sure if we can see her slides. If not, well, she is a prolific speaker. She will also manage to give us the main information, even if we can't use the slides. So Anita, I'm sure many of you have come across. She is one of the leading lights for the Asian hospitality industry and has been working in a number of capacities in the hospitality industry before she joined her own company, Compass Edge, and especially in this annus horribilis 2020, in times of the virus, she has been helping a lot her clients and the hospitality industry at large to get through this difficult period and to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So she will talk about the digital divide, the digital chasm between China and the West. And so I hope the technical quality will be good because we had to improvise a bit, but I'm sure it will be very interesting. Anita, please take over.
Thank you, Professor Wolfgang. Good morning to all European associates and good afternoon to our Asian counterpart. It is going to be a very challenging session for me because of the technical challenges. I will not be able to show the slide, so you have to listen to me. I'm going to talk about the digital chasm between China and the West. I'm Anita Chen, CEO of Compass Edge. I've spoken at major conferences before, such as ITB, Smart Guide, WeChat Travel Conference, Chat Conference, Hospitality Asia Conference, and more. So I hope you will enjoy my presentation today, although there's no slide. So very quickly about Compass Edge. We are an award-winning marketing technology company for the China market, specialized in hospitality and tourism industry. Over the past few years, we have won some amazing leading awards in the industry. So today, my presentation is going to be in 3 parts. As we know, the chasm between China online and the Western world is now getting even wider. So I'm going to start with the basic variations in platforms and technology, and then we'll go into the differences in online behaviors. And finally, we'll share some tips in planning for 2021. So hopefully you can have a good idea on how to shape a good China digital strategy to cross the digital chasm between China online and the West. So setting the stage, we all know China is a huge market, but how big it is? Actually, from the data from Virtual Capitalist, the Chinese city, 35 of the Chinese city have a GDP that is equivalent to an entire country. Although you cannot see the slide, but there are European countries like Finland, Sweden, Switzerland, Denmark, Austria, Greece, etc. The GDP of those countries are equivalent to the GDP of Chinese cities like Dainan, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Nanjing, Suzhou, Hangzhou, etc. So I think it would just put things into perspective to start my session. Okay, so let's start with something we know. We know Google. We know Google favors HTTPS. It likes more secure website and you will give it better organic ranking. However, due to censorship, China is now blocking deeper encryption website that uses TLS 1.3 and ESNI. So something we know is so good in the Western market can turn out to be no good for the China market. This is why we cannot use a universal approach for both China and the West. So now something we're familiar again. Let's talk about social apps. WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all these social apps across 10 top economy like US, Canada, Germany, UK, France, and Italy are all similar, except China. China is completely different. And in fact, it is not just the social apps. China has different platforms on almost every key verticals, from search, payment, messaging, social media to travel. And adding on to the complexity, many of the platforms like Google, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, WhatsApp, they are all blocked in China. So for tourism operators, if you do not appear on the China platform, actually you are not visible to mainland Chinese at all, even if you are posting content in Chinese. It is not a simple language issue. And for most people, China equals to WeChat. So let's talk about WeChat a little more. In the West, we use apps for different purposes. In China, WeChat is an ecosystem. Some call it a super app, but it is the operating system in Chinese daily life, whether it is to do messaging, social networking, mobile payment, calling a taxi, booking travel, everything. WeChat can do it all. So, some of you may say, let's get a WeChat official account and that solves all the problem, right? We can reach all mainland Chinese we want. It is not that simple. Actually, WeChat is a closed platform. So what it means is, if you have a WeChat official account, actually it cannot be discovered. Of course, unless you spend a lot of money advertising. Chinese can only see you via contacts or chats that you're already connected with. But there are over 20 million WeChat official accounts. You will not see any result by just owning a WeChat account. You need to plan to do what you want to do after you have a WeChat account to make it work. And other than WeChat official account, there is WeChat mini program. Unfortunately, because I do not have the slide, I cannot show you the example. But what is WeChat mini program? WeChat mini program are sub-application within the WeChat ecosystem, which can be discovered. They provide advanced features like e-commerce, customer service, and task management, etc. So initially, I prepared a slide for you. I show you the WeChat mini program that my company developed, that it touches dining, shopping, activities like spa, day trips, transportation, etc. in addition to just a hotel stay. So this actually helps hotels to capture auxiliary revenues through this retail marketing model. But the caveat is, WeChat is not the silver bullet. In fact, WeChat focuses on solving pain points for Chinese day-to-day life and not that much as a social media marketing platform. China's digital ad landscape is completely different to the West. Whereas Facebook and Google gather about 80% of online advertising revenue, whereas Tencent, owning company of WeChat, only have 14% of digital ad revenue. So if you're looking from a marketing perspective, there are a lot more social platforms to take care of in China, such as Xiaohongshu, Little Red Book, Weibo, Douyin, Bilibili, Mailpai, and Yijibo, etc. And after you gained public traffic from all this platform, the next step is for you to focus on private traffic, which means through chats, message boards, online communities, etc. Private traffic is cost effective. It can build closer and direct relationship with customers and would definitely improve conversion rate. And before going to the next part of the presentation to talk about the differences in Chinese online behaviors, I want to talk about some technology that are already widely used in China that mold some of those behavior. For example, chatbot. If you do not already know, chatbot is actually originated from WeChat. Because of chatbot, Chinese expectation for online response time is instant. They expect real-time response. And then there is QR code, as you know. It is the low-cost, low-tech way to connect the digital world inside the tiny little phone to the big things and places and people in the real world. And now with voice command on the rise in China, it facilitates transaction processing. So if you see something you like it, you say purchase now or buy now, it will do the rest for you. Last but not least, while we are still talking about facial recognition to be used at airports, hotels, attraction points, China is already talking about facial recognition for pets. Isn't that interesting? Okay, now moving on to second part of my presentation, talking about the differences in Chinese online behavior. For sure, China is a mobile-first country. Although you cannot see the statistics, which I'll be happily want to share with every one of you after this section, you can see China has the highest percentage of active smartphone users in the world. But what is more interesting to me is there are actually more active social media users in China, 1.04 billion with a penetration of 72%, than internet user, 854 million with penetration of only 59%. What this means is there is a good 186 million, 13% of Chinese that only go on social media and not on the internet. This is why social media presence is so important in China. And some more data, although you cannot see it, but from another source, KOL. A Chinese netizen in average spend 2 hours, 12 minutes per day using social media, higher than the worldwide average. 76% of Chinese post online frequently as compared to only 41% in the US. And 53% share everything they do online as compared to only 28% in the US. So more than half of Chinese online netizens share everything they do. This is a huge difference in the online behavior. Chinese just love to share everything online. And then there is some data that may surprise you further. Chinese are more outspoken than you may have expected. 75% of online users in China provide feedback at least once a month, as compared to less than 20% in US. And I guess the percentage is even lower in Europe. But don't get this wrong, Chinese are not complaining. Remember, they like to share everything, so they would share both pros and cons on product they use, on hotel they stay, on attraction point they have been to, like museums, theme park. You know why? Because Chinese historically do not trust 100% on everything they see online. They are very used to share their first-hand experience to the online community so others can benefit from their information. This trust issue and cultural difference really make social media, social listening important in China as well. So now, although you cannot see, but I have prepared the digital touch points. In the West, we are relatively easy, so to speak. We start from search. We look at the product page, maybe do a few comparisons. We like it, put it in the shopping cart, purchase and done. But in China, the touch points are far more complex and integrated. They have to see you from advertising, from social, live streaming, bestseller, apps, campaign page, everything before making a purchase decision. In fact, according to McKinsey China, Chinese actually need 8 brand touch points, 4 more than Western customer. And actually search, that is the #1 most important touch point that we have, is actually missing in the China digital journey. And yes, Chinese do not do generic search. They just tap around. Chinese has moved from search-based to recommendation-based shopping online. And the most preferred social marketing format in China is actually via KOL at 60%, higher than video live streaming, higher than WeChat or Weibo account. So what is KOL? KOL stands for Key Opinion Leader. It does not quite exist in the West, and the closest to KOL is influencer in the West, but they are still different. So you remember I just mentioned historically Chinese do not believe in online information 100%. So travel KOLs are like experts. They are professionals that they provide content that Chinese trust. Influencers, on the other hand, as we know, are more based on interesting viral trends, but KOL focus on product and service that are relevant to their field of expertise. Because of the Chinese culture that they buy from people they trust, actually KOLs can convert their content into sales. This is the key difference between KOL in China and influencers in the West. But as we all know, China is not cheap. KOL got high engagement rates, but they are super expensive. I have prepared a KOL cost acquisition calculator for you, so I will just talk it out. To earn one new customer, it's like $282 on literary book, $403 on WeChat, and $470 on Weibo, and just to acquire one new customer through KOL on those platforms. So now you know what KOL is. You may hear people like Professor Woodcan talk about KOC, key opinion customers. KOC are actually your customers. They are like your volunteer brand ambassadors. While KOL influence their huge social follower base and can reach very broad audience, KOC go deep to influence their friends and families and their connections. So from a marketing perspective, for a brand to get awareness in China, KOLs are an unavoidable necessity, but KOC are like marketing holy grail. It's very valuable, but very hard to find. Okay, so other than KOL, KOC, what is the latest buzz for China to acquire customer? Live streaming. So you hear a lot of people talking about live streaming as well. In the West, we can do live pretty easily, like on Facebook, on YouTube, but it's not getting the same buzz as it is in China. Why? Because the excitement, of live streaming in China is to interact real time with the host, whether it be the handsome or the pretty KOL that you like, or corporate leaders like the founders of OTA, like the chief executive of a country or the head of the tourism board, that they provide the confidence and endorsement to the audience. Of course, in China, the excitement of live streaming also comes from the limited quota so-produced that they can get in each live streaming session. But you may say, I'm not convinced in social commerce. I've done a lot on Facebook, Instagram in the past, and I do not see any result. But in fact, this is a key difference between China and especially in Europe. In UK, France, and Germany, although you cannot see from the chart, but there's a chart there, the percentage that would not consider buying anything from social media is well above worldwide average to over like 50% they say they would not buy. But on the other hand, China is on the other spectrum, on the other extreme, that they are most social commerce ready. Over 30% of Chinese are social buyers, and they continue to rise. If I can just read it out from the chart to give you some absolute numbers, there are 357 million social buyers in China in 2020, as compared to only 76 million in US and only 10 million in UK. So China has 35 times more social buyers than UK. And now when we talk about social buying, although mobile wallet is gaining popularity in Europe, such as in Italy, in Netherlands, in France, and Germany, China is already a cashless society. Mobile payment is the norm for Chinese, and it is dominated by Alipay and WeChat Pay. So now, if you allow me to deep dive into the changing model of e-commerce in China, it is actually changing from give me what I want to tell me what I should buy. To make it easy to understand, I will use this analogy that the traditional model is like you go to a typical restaurant. You are presented with a menu. So you search and look through the menu to find what you want, and then you place the order. The new socially driven model is like you are going to the Japanese sushi train restaurant with a conveyor belt. So when you arrive, the food is already creatively presented to you in front of your face, rotating every second. So you chat with your friends, have a great time, and you pick whatever that comes by that looks yummy to you. So in order to be picked, you need to look attractive. You need to appear in front of the face for as many times as you can. This is the emerging e-commerce model in China. And moving ahead, planning for 2021, I just want to start with this message. 82% of consumers in China say they have already started using new brand because of the COVID-19 response. Chinese care more than any other countries that you communicate with them frequently or not. I know it is a tough time for everyone, but only those who communicate and engage actively with the Chinese will win the business in 2021. And of course, I know everyone wants direct booking, but reality check though, it is a misconception that because China is a huge market, so getting direct booking is a piece of cake. It is not. 91% of Chinese like to shop via OTA and only 9% prefer booking direct. And it has not changed much for the Gen Z Chinese. From the latest Travel Daily survey, only about 12% will book via hotels, airlines, and attractions official website, similar to the previous finding. 59% will make travel booking via OTAs, and another 11% will book via travel agency. So there's a total of 70%. China OTAs like Ctrip, China, Frigi, they are still powerful and they can generate volume. So be sure to work with them. Check your listing on those OTAs and also continue to work with the travel agency community to get the best result for 2021. But I do need to emphasize, branding is everything in China. There are so many hotels in your location, all selling on all OTA platforms. But why and how will Chinese pick you over your competitors? If you do not want to go down the deep discounting route, branding will make a difference. So if you have a proper online branding presence in place in China, you are ahead of the game in 2021. So it comes to kind of the end of my presentation. I've prepared a model, that my company comes up with that is talking about the young Chinese traveler's journey. So we did a survey and come up with this model from inspiration, how they get inspired from social media posts, from KOLs, to planning via trip planning site like Mafuwa, Literabook, Weibo, and OTA like Ctrip, to validation through your official Chinese website, to booking via OTA or direct, then staying and sharing on WeChat, Weibo, Literabook, etc. So in order to well prepare for the China market for 2021, make sure you look attractive and you appear in front of the face for as many times as you can, which means all the digital touch points should be properly managed. So I'm not talking about advertising or media placement, but you need to keep the organic momentum going at least. The more touch points you reach and engage with Chinese, the higher chance you will be successful for the China outbound strategy. And just one line of advertising to end my session, my company manages all these digital touch points for our clients. We help company to cross the digital chasm between China and the West. Thank you very much for attending my session. And I hope, although there's no slide, you can still find my information useful. And I really hope, I can see all of you face to face sometime very soon. So feel free to connect with me through the BUZZ community, and you can find out more information about my company from our website. Thank you. Have a great day.
Anita, thank you very much for your presentation. And I think we all could see the slides in front of our eyes. You described them so vividly. Well done. And I think also we all learned, so what we have to do is you have to do a sushi bar instead of a menu in a restaurant, and you have to have the friend sitting next to you is recommending you, this is the tastiest sushi, you should try this one. So this is the ideal combination. I think this is a picture which everybody can keep in his mind or her mind. And this is certainly, I fully agree, this is what we are talking about. We're talking about recommendation marketing, and we're talking about again and again and again. So look, this is what you want to have. So this is, tell me what I should buy. Tell me what I should want. This is, I think, another key sentence we take from this session. So Anita, thank you so much. And Compass Edge has a website. We find more information, and also within the summit, of course, they have a stand. And so I can also say, yeah, it's a year since we met in Hong Kong last time, I think. So I hope that we and everybody can soon meet again in the flesh. Thank you very much. Thank you for everybody for attending the session, and we will continue with more presentations today and also on Thursday and Friday. Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone.